Hey everyone, I'm Liz Merrick, and today I'm going to give you my top tips for baking from scratch successfully. So my first tip is always use a recipe from a trusted source like Sugar Geek Show, or in this case, I'm going to be trying out a new recipe from one of my favorite authors. This is Rose, and she's the author of The Cake Bible, which is pretty much the book that taught me how to bake, so I know I'm going to like her recipes. My number 2 tip is to read through the recipe before you even start trying to bake. This is just one recipe, but there's 2 full pages. Oh wait, there's more. This is just one recipe, but there's multiple pages of information here, and this is all super valuable and will help me understand how to make these brownies beyond just the ingredients of eggs, butter, and chocolate. So I can see what the oven temperature is gonna be, how long I'm gonna be baking this, the equipment that I need to be using, and any special techniques that I can read through ahead of time, and if I don't understand them, I can go Google it and look it up so that I'm not stopping in the middle of my recipe and wondering, how do I do that? Tip number 3 is read the actual ingredients to make sure that you have everything on hand. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to make a new recipe and realized, I don't have that ingredient, and then that totally throws off your flow. Some recipes even get ruined if you stop halfway through and then let the batter sit and then try and come back and fix it. Don't waste ingredients. So for this recipe, I need eggs, cream cheese, pecan pieces, dark chocolate, 60 to 62%. So that's a great thing to know ahead of time. Make sure you have the right kind of chocolate. I need unsweetened alkalized cocoa powder. That means Dutched cocoa powder. Big difference between Dutched and just natural cocoa powder. Sugar, vanilla extract, and all-purpose flour. So I know there might be a couple ingredients here that I need to check to make sure that I have. The rest of it is some things that I pretty much have, so I'm good to go. I know exactly how much each one of these ingredients weighs, so I know that my recipe is going to be as perfect as possible because baking is a science. So I've got my kitchen scale here and I'm gonna weigh out all of my ingredients. That brings us to our next tip, which is making sure all of your ingredients are at room temperature. And by room temperature, I mean actually just a little bit warm. So things like eggs, butter, if there's milk or water, you want all of that to be the same temperature so that it will mix together and become a happy little batter. If you have warm eggs and cold butter, it's not gonna wanna mix together and it's gonna get all curdled, and it can definitely ruin your recipe. I don't have to weigh eggs, but they're on the scale. To bring your eggs to room temperature, simply place them in a bowl of warm water for 5 minutes. To bring butter to room temperature, I just microwave mine for about 20 seconds. And then for cream cheese, you can cut it into small little cubes and leave it at room temperature for about 10 minutes and it'll quickly get softened. When you're weighing out your ingredients, you want to put any sort of bowl or container that you're going to be placing your ingredients onto the scale and then turn it on so that it doesn't count the plate as part of the ingredients. Your scale should read 0 when your bowl or plate is on top. There should be a button on your scale that says tare, and that means bring it back to 0. And then there's also a button that says mode, and I'm going to put mine on grams because that's what my recipe says. So I need 85 grams of cream cheese, full fat, cut into pieces. $71. There we go, 85. These are already toasted. I like pecans in my brownies, which is one of the reasons I chose this recipe. Ooh, too much. Got crazy. Just started going for it. 85 grams is not a lot. 76 grams of flour. Not very much. Ooh, 76, boom. And then a pinch of fine sea salt. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 200 grams unsalted butter. I think I should have used a slightly bigger bowl. That was almost 2 sticks. Okay, I'm gonna quickly do a check. Unsalted butter, cream cheese, pecans, dark chocolate, cocoa powder, sugar, vanilla extract, flour, and sea salt. So I know I have all of my ingredients together and I can go ahead and start making my brownies. But first, I gotta read this because I haven't actually read it. All right, so now I'm gonna start making my brownies and I will read through the steps once again before moving to the next one just to double check that I'm not making any mistakes. So if you're anything like me, you probably like to experiment with recipes. My next tip is to make a recipe the first time exactly the way that it's written and then make your adjustments to make it your own. The reason for this is because you really have no idea if a recipe is even gonna turn out or be one that you even like. I get comments all the time asking me why my cake recipe didn't turn out, and the first question I ask them is, did you follow the recipe? I'm gonna add in my cocoa powder. And my sugar. Oh, and then remove the bowl. Whisk in the eggs and vanilla until the mixture becomes thick and glossy. And vanilla. Let's say that's thick and glossy. With a blending fork or wooden spoon, stir and mash in the cream cheese. That's good. Stir in the flour and salt just until the flour is moistened. Okay. Stir in the pecan pieces, reaching to the bottom of the bowl to incorporate everything. Yummy. Okay, that looks amazing. I've got my pan already coated with some cake goop. And I'm just gonna put my parchment paper in here, crisscross style. Scrape batter into prepared pan, smooth surface evenly, but mound slightly in the center. I don't think this is gonna mound. Maybe. All right, bake 25 to 35 minutes or until the batter has set 1 inch from the edge. All right, here we go. Okay, so good thing I read the directions because I was just gonna lift these out and transfer them and they probably would have cracked. So I reread what it says to do. And what do you know? It's not lift them out of the pan. It says to put some plastic wrap over the top and then a wire rack and invert them, which basically means flip upside down. Ooh. That scared me. And then carefully peel off the parchment. Ooh. Doesn't get more careful than that. That looks pretty nice. I'm gonna transfer this to a wooden board. Flip it back over. Ooh, so pretty. Okay. Ooh, oh, that looks really, really good. It makes a noise. It's like little melted bits of chocolate in there. I don't even know if you can see it. Oh my God. Terrible. Oh my, man, it's so good. It's soft, super chocolatey. I need ice cream. Ice cream.